Hey boys, it's HarmNone. In today's video, we're going to be trying to answer the most commonly asked question that I've received over the past 3 weeks or so, ever since the Quartz Center Heist DLC was announced by ROCKSTAR through the newswire. Now, in my opinion, and the opinion of many other colleagues and GTA YouTubers and stuff like that, and I would say generally most people, we kind of think that the Quartz Center Heist is going to be potentially the final GTA Online DLC, but also a pretty major one that's probably going to feature somewhat of an ending to GTA Online as we know it, at least for GTA 5 Online, that is. We also think that this is probably going to be the most lucrative way to make money in the game. It's going to be like Cayo Perico before all the nerfs that have happened to it, but it's probably going to be even better than that as far as I'm concerned. I don't see them releasing this heist this late in the game and not making it absolutely overpowered. But none of this has to do really with what we're going to be talking about in this video and the question we're going to be answering, which is, how much money will we need for this DLC? Now, I am going to acknowledge this right now before everybody starts commenting and saying that I'm just farming or reaching for views. People have asked me this question a lot, and this is why I'm making the video. I'm answering it to the best of my ability, and I'm not going to do some just BS where I'm just going to throw out some number. I've actually analyzed the past few DLCs that we've gotten over the past 3 years or so to figure out how much money this DLC is going to cost us in total versus also on day one. Now, before I make my predictions for the Quartz Center Heist DLC, we have to talk about the previous 5-6 DLCs that we've got in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, the following is going to be assuming just the price of the vehicles that are going to be in each of these updates and any properties that are available in each update fully upgraded as well. Now, this is not assuming the upgrade cost of the cars. This is not assuming clothing. This is purely based on vehicles and properties because I feel like that's what most people care about. I don't know anybody who's going out and spending like $6 million on clothing, but if that's you, you may want to factor in an extra $5-6 million, I guess, but who knows. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and start off with the San Andreas Mercenaries DLC from the summer of 2023. This DLC cost us $28,955,000 in total, without a property included, but with some upgrades for the Avenger and stuff like that, as well as 14 new vehicles. Following that, in December of 2023, alongside the first GTA 6 trailer, we got the Chop Shop DLC, and that DLC cost $40,436,500, and that is including 16 vehicles and 1 salvage yard, but this DLC also marked the addition of getting cop cars added as purchasable vehicles in GTA Online, which is partially why it became so expensive. Up next, we have the Bottom Dollar Bounties DLC, one of the more expensive GTA Online DLCs ever, at $47,946,000. So you can basically call that $48 million for sure. That includes 16 vehicles, again, a lot of police cars included, and 1 bail enforcement office. So that was a fairly expensive DLC, but we actually have one more that is more expensive with Agents of Sabotage for $49,034,000, including 14 vehicles and 2 properties. Now, one of those things that's included in there is the Garment Factory, and the other one is the Terabyte, I do believe, with the new Terabyte upgrades and everything like that. So $49 million. That was previously the most expensive DLC. And then we had Money Fronts for $34,514,900, featuring 11 vehicles and 3 businesses with the Hands-On Car Wash, Higgins Heli Tours, and of course, Smoke on the Water. Now, none of those businesses had upgrades, but there were 3 different businesses in total, ranging from about $3 million for the businesses alone. And fast forward to the Safe House in the Hills update. Now, this DLC, assuming you bought 1 mansion, costs $42,839,000 and featured a total of 10 vehicles. 2 police cars included in that, so it was a fairly expensive DLC, all things considered. The thing that we haven't considered is that if you purchase all 3 mansions, and if you purchased all 3 mansions, assuming the other 2 didn't have any upgrades at all, it would cost you $66,539,000 for the Safe House in the Hills DLC with all 3 mansions, but leaving upgrades off of the second and third mansions. Meaning that that was by far the most expensive GTA Online DLC. And this is where I'm going to tie back into the start of the video. Now, a lot of people think that this Quartz Center Heist DLC is not only the final DLC for GTA Online, but also a continuation of the Safe House in the Hills DLC. The reason we think this is because it kind of ended really awkwardly at the end of the Safe House in the Hills DLC. Michael helped you defend your mansion and then disappeared, and that was the end of the DLC. Nothing else happened. It seems really weird that we got Michael back to be in like effectively 3 cutscenes, and save you in the mansion, and that is it. I kind of doubt that Rockstar got Ned Luke all the way down to their studios to record a bunch of stuff to just do that. I think there's going to be more featuring Michael in the Quartz Center Heist DLC, which is coming out on July 14th, which is 10 days from the day I'm recording this, so 9 days by the time it comes out. Now, there's an argument here where you could say, well, it seems like the majority of the new stuff came out with Safe House in the Hills, with the new mansions. Obviously, those were extremely expensive. They cost about $30 million alone, just the mansions. What can possibly really be left for the Quartz Center Heist? The one thing that we do know about is the art studio, which is an upgrade for the mansion. Now, if you currently own a mansion before the DLC comes out, you will get a discount of $1 million off of this new art studio upgrade for your mansion. To me, that means that this is probably going to cost about $3 to $5 million for just the art studio upgrade on your mansion. Now, if you do it to all 3 mansions, that alone might be, up to $15 million. I don't think you're going to probably do that. I think you're probably going to put it on just one mansion, but we could be as high as $15 million already right there. I think more likely somewhere in the neighborhood of like $9 million, say it's $3 million each mansion that you upgrade it. But then we also have to look at the amount of vehicles that were released with a Safe House in the Hills. Now, it's also speculated, at least a little bit, that Money Fronts and Safe House in the Hills and this Quartz Center Heist DLC were all actually just one gigantic final DLC for GTA Online that they ended up splitting into 3 parts. And there's kind of a bit of a reason to think that, and that's because Money Fronts was relatively low when it comes to new vehicles. There was only 11 new cars, and in Safe House in the Hills, we only got 10 new cars, which is generally quite low for a GTA DLC. A lot of the time, I'd say the average is probably more like 14 to 16. So this is a relatively low amount, but granted, with the 2 combined, that is still like 21 vehicles, which is pretty good. But I think that they purposely left out a lot of the vehicle content from Safe House in the Hills to then release it in the Quartz Center Heist, alongside the additional upgrades for the mansion and stuff like that. I think something that actually also points towards this being the second half of the Safe House in the Hills DLC is the fact that there was an art studio upgrade for the mansion that just didn't get released with mansions, right? That doesn't really make sense. So I really do feel like these are intertwined, and I feel like this next DLC, the Quartz Center Heist, is going to be very vehicle focused. But not only that, I think that the heist is not only going to make you a lot of money, but I have a feeling it might cost a lot of money to set it up as well. Additionally, we also know that there are a few more police vehicles that have yet to be released, with the FIB Buffalo and Granger, as well as the Sheriff Granger and the Police Maverick, the helicopter. They have not released those vehicles to us yet. I kind of have a feeling that they probably will, and maybe those will be heist approach vehicles in the next DLC. So we'll have to see what happens, but I think the police vehicles alone, we could say probably $20 million. I don't think that would be an unreasonable amount of money to assume that they're going to cost. Right there with just the art studio and the police vehicles that we're assuming we're probably going to get, we're already at like, I don't know, $20 to $30 million, depending on how much that art studio costs. So that's quite a lot of money. Now, I would also assume there's probably going to be a new supercar, probably at least a new sports car, a new SUV, and maybe a new muscle car, and some random kind of throwaway-ish cars as well. Now, for day one, I know not everybody is like me, and you don't all have to purchase everything on day one. It's the thing that I see the most whenever I make a video like this. You don't have to buy everything on day one, and it's true. I think that $30 million is a very reasonable amount of money to have on July 14th when the Quartz Center Heist actually releases into GTA Online. I think you'll be able to buy most of, if not maybe all of the day one content that we get with this update. If you want to be totally safe and have enough money to comfortably buy everything day one, I would say get yourself $40 million. And by the time it's all said and done, if you have $50 million, I think you'll be able to buy probably absolutely everything from this update. If I had to put a more exact figure on it, I would say if you have $32 million, you will definitely be good for day one. Easily. And when it's all said and done, I think if you have about $47,500,000, honestly, you'll be totally fine by the time absolutely everything is released from the DLC. And keep in mind, this is going to be a heist, which I think we're obviously going to get paid for, which is probably going to help generate you guys some money as well to buy some of this stuff, even if you don't have all the money before the DLC actually comes out. Only time will tell. I could be totally wrong. This DLC could cost $4 million, or it could cost like $70 million. They could just drop a bunch of stuff on us that we're not ready for. The only consideration that I have, and the only argument that I have that it could be more than that $47,500,000 number, is that if this is the last DLC, truly the last GTA Online DLC, I think they're going to give us as much stuff as they can possibly think of. Maybe way more cars than we could even predict. Maybe way more than 10. Maybe way more than 16. Maybe they'll give us 20 vehicles. We just don't know. Basically, the bottom line is the bunker's on double money until July 13th. Sell that thing as much as you possibly can and make as much money as possible with the bunker and every other business you have as well before the DLC drops, and you should hopefully be able to buy everything that you want. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, consider dropping a like and subscribing if you guys are new. With that being said, I will see you all in the next one. Till then, take care. Peace.